Hi YouTubers, it's Fortune Cookie 45 LC coming to you today with the topic of Lee shotgun slugs that we love so much. And a lot of us cast the 7/8 ounce slug and the 1 ounce slug. The 1 ounce slug's great for hunting, better penetration, more energy. The 7/8 ounce slug is great for target practice, for recreational shooting. So since we're fans of both these slugs, you would think that these slugs are about the same. The difference is that this one's a little taller, a little heavier. That's the only difference, right? Well, the purpose of this video is to let you know that these slugs are actually two different animals. The 1 ounce slug has a wider skirt than a 7/8. You see the difference there? It's got a thicker skirt. And you notice how the 1 ounce slug stays on its side. But the 7/8 ounce slug wants to roll back onto its nose. You see that? This one will do it too. If you let go on the side, let go, it rolls onto its nose. Take the 1 ounce slug, put it on its side, and it stays on its side. What that means is that the 1 ounce slug has more weight in the skirt. It's a longer skirt, but also a thicker skirt. And the weight is more equally distributed front and back. Whereas the 7/8 ounce slug, you would think it would be a lot lighter than the 1 ounce slug because it's got a thinner skirt and it's a shorter slug. But the difference is there's a lot of lead in the nose. So it's a 7/8 ounce slug with more weight pushed over onto the nose portion. And that explains why the 7/8 ounce slug is actually a little more accurate than the 1 ounce slug. Because the way these slugs are designed, the skirt tapers a little bit. So if you measure the widest portion here at the hemisphere, it's wider than the skirt. Same thing here. The hemisphere is wider than the skirt. So you have a taper. Well, what that does is as the slug is going through the air, if the slug is off center like this, as it's flying through the air will return the slug to center. But the 1 ounce slug might very well have a little fishtailing effect then, a little yawing before it finally settles down and flies through the target. That's why the 1 ounce slug is not as accurate, because the 7/8 ounce slug has the same property of fishtailing to stabilize, but because the nose is heavier, you don't get as much fishtailing, you don't get as much yawing. So these are different animals. Now why Lee didn't keep the skirt a little narrower on the 1 ounce slug and keep more weight on the front nose, that is a little bit of a mystery. Because if Lee had done that, then both slugs would perform the same accuracy, and you would have more hitting power and more energy with the 1 ounce and a little more velocity with the 7/8 ounce, but a little less energy. And that they would be the same animal. But as they've designed it right now, they're not. So YouTubers, we love both these slugs, but they are different, and we should know that. Bye for now.